Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet, with episode 45 of Splinterlands 101. Joining us once again, co-host the show and finest gentleman who ever lived, Matt Clark.
Howdy, howdy.
Here's Matt Clark. He's one of the finest gentlemen that ever lived.
Howdy, howdy. And we have two guests on the show tonight. You will notice that they're both from Oklahoma, but I'll get them to describe exactly where in Oklahoma they are from. And Matt, you invited these handsome-looking devils onto the show, so why don't you introduce them?
Yeah, well, look, obviously, I'm drowning in DMs constantly being popular and handsome and the like, so it's hard to sort the wheat from the chaff. But I spotted these guys, and I like the tone. I like the enthusiasm, the hunger. So yeah, I just said, just come on the show. They actually were asking if I'd like to come on their podcast at some point. And I sort of, let's do a tit for tat thing, and we can all grow together. So yes, so we got Bjangles and Wascal. Now I know you were something else, Wascal. Is there a different name that you've been going by?
Wascal Wabbits, is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, maybe. Yes. So these handsome gents are gamers, Splinterlanders. They want to talk and be part of the, I guess just the excitement around all this, because I can feel it building. I don't know if the rest of you guys are feeling like green shoots in the market. Like there's an energy going on that I'm really feeling at the moment. So it's almost a cliche where people, I'm really excited, but I'm genuinely feeling it at the moment. Yeah, Big Kev. He was a Australian, massive, big Australian guy who did a lot of marketing, very loud marketing, and then died. He died, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, heart attack.
Yep. But so I'm feeling the enthusiasm. Thanks for joining us, gents. And keen to hear your thoughts on where you came from, where you think we're going. I guess where you think we can improve. There's a lot of that in Mavs at the moment. People sharing where they think we can improve. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, so I'll kick off first. Yeah, my name's Wascal, or the Wascal Wabbits, as my in-game name is known. I'm the one half of the People's Guild. We just been doing our podcast. I think we've celebrated our 6-month anniversary recently, so happy the way it's going. Just kind of I got into the game. I was probably like most of people, just riding that Bitcoin to 100,000 rockets, jumped off, found I was just kind of looking at other projects about what to invest in, and I was just thinking NFTs, and then just, how you kind of find it, you kind of weave here and you weave there, duck here. And I remember seeing some guy called Crypto Tash, and he used to review lots of these new up and coming Web3 games. And he recommended Splinterlands. So I dabbled that. I was, like I said, I was in just at that right time to pick up all those very expensive cards. I was probably buying a few off you guys at some point. And and then just eventually I got Bjangles into it a few months later.
Yeah, I had a little bit of an easier path to discovering Splinterlands. It was via a couple of beers down by the river with Wascal here. And I had kind of grown up with Magic the Gathering and really enjoyed kind of the tabletop card games and trading card games and that sort of stuff. And like I said, a couple of beers and watching a couple of matches kind of unfold was the initial taste of Splinterlands. And I think I went home that night with a spell book in my book bag. And, it took me a couple of weeks to kind of sort myself out and, watch some videos. I think my initial introduction was Bulldog or Infidel or, at that point it was 8-9 months ago. So it was really before I feel like YouTube content creation has really kind of exploded the last few months. And, you've seen some big players kind of hop in and run the space. But, Yeah, so kind of dabbled in the YouTube stuff that kind of initially sparked the interest. I discovered that town halls were a thing, and that was really where I got my feet wet with the team that I now kind of follow on a weekly basis, and just the transparency, the community, the involvement, the level of town hall that takes place with Splinterlands, I think is really indicative of what keeps me here. It's a very cool community driven project, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to kind of see the back and forth between the community and how the team responds. And man, thinking back the last, for the first couple of months, it felt like everybody was a little bit frustrated that the game had kind of plateaued, and they kept saying, steady your loins, things are coming. And holy shit, the last 6 months, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, man. It seems like every week there's something massive that's come into the game, or some new big proposal that's going to change everything. And yeah, here we are. So thanks for having us, guys.
I almost think they're scared. They want us scared to ask for anything again. Like they've gone, oh, you really, you want, like the demon feeding home of the donuts. You have all the donuts in the world. You like donuts? So we're all like, oh, where's the updates? Come on, bring it on, roll out some. And then they've just gone bang, 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 and overkill. And they've got us scared now to just sort of, we're sitting in the corner just waiting. Just let us recover a little bit, patch up our wounds. And yeah, it's been brutal. It's been crazy. But what you mentioned about the community it's a big one for me. I didn't come from gaming. I came from politics, through economics, into Bitcoin, into Hive, Steam at the time, and then to Splinterlands. So I've not played a TCG before. It shows if you've come up against me at all. It definitely shows. I've got the deck. I've got the weight there, and often I'll look at that and I'll get beaten by somebody and I'll go, oh, on paper, I've just fielded $75,000 worth of cards, and this guy's beaten me with. I want to talk about $300 worth. I would love for the display for the current market value of both decks to be put up on the screen, because then I think a lot of people would have got even more of a dopamine rush out of beating me.
You should hit Manser up with that. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I've mentioned it a couple of times. Maybe we'll put it up for a proposal. I can appreciate why they don't want to get too much mention of the money in the game and sort of all of that. But I think for extra bragging rights, when there's that big difference between the value in the decks. But what you're saying about the community, I think is fascinating, because I've found that I'm automatically more trusting of people in the Hive community, because it is the more trustworthy people who are drawn to that level of transparency and accountability, because every word you write, it's there. You can't go back and say, oh, I didn't really say that, or you said this when you didn't say it. Like, it's all there, it's all in the chain. And I think the right kind of people are drawn to that, and the wrong kind of people are repelled by that. And that means that I can kind of tell a lot about you just by the fact that you're drawn to the Hive chain in general, and obviously that's spilled over now into Splinterlands. So it's not an automatic pass. I'm not naive. I know there's opportunists out there, but I also know that I'm more fond of this community than I am of any other, because I know it's attractive to the type of people that think like me and just want our words to be our words. If you say something, mean it and back it up. And if you change your mind, if you make a mistake, it's still there, right? We're all human, but there's not that level of deception that's possible elsewhere,
I love it, man. Yeah, the accountability piece is huge, right? And we are human. Making that mistake and owning that mistake that's a big piece of attraction for me too.
And you can't backtrack on the blockchain. Like it's there forever. It's like, yeah.
And I think
and
also
with
want
to do that. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I just think, like, I don't know how you guys, maybe you've seen the difference in the community, but yeah, since I've arrived, yeah, it's definitely one of the things that it's just very appealing for a newcomer. Like you said, you weren't a gamer before this. I wasn't a gamer. I was a big, I'm a board gamer, like playing Risk and Memoir 44. That was what I came from. So like, it's just your initial experiences, like people just sending you like these cards that are going to help you gain an advantage or just have a better experience in the game. Like that was just like something I was like taken back with.
Did you ever play Talisman in your board game days?
Talisman? No,
No?
I've never heard of that one.
Okay, it was a
I've
board game with cards, and it was the closest thing I've ever done prior to Splinterlands. So I started vlogging on the Steam blockchain and then onto the Hive blockchain. So when Splinterlands or Steam Monsters at the time first came out, this was my first ever experience at anything to do with cards. I've heard of like Magic the Gathering and all that, but I never got into it other than back in high school days, you know, the chewing gum packets. Like I used to collect the cards from the Kung Fu TV series.
There was the Batman one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Yeah, I remember those Batman cards at school. They were great.
Right.
Danny DeVito, was that when you played the Penguin as well?
That's the one. Yeah, I don't know if you could play with those. They were just collector's ones. But yeah, like I say, I've never got into TCG. I played a lot of like Diablo and Age of Mythology, that type of thing, through my 20s, but not a trading card game. I always sort of kept that to one side as nerd stuff. As long as I don't embrace that, I'm not really a nerd. And then of course I've come full circle in crypto and NFTs and. Yeah,
so what were the things that pulled you guys both into, like you said, the community? What else was it that pulled you both into Splinterlands and kept you in there?
I'll go first then. Yeah, for me, it was just simply a case. I had a friend who moved to Mexico, been living in Mexico for a while, and he's actually famous on the like an Acapulco circuit as the guy who got deported from Mexico. Just a bit of bad luck on bus one day, immigration police. Anyway, he sent back to Australia and he stayed with me for a couple of weeks and introduced me to Steam. And at this time, I'd left Facebook, Instagram, so I wasn't involved in any level of social media. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I started vlogging on the blockchain. And at the time it was with DTube, and this is back when the height of the Steam. So I was making a video a day and getting about 120, 130 bucks a day per video.
Wow.
And he went back to New South Wales, which is his home state, but he hadn't showed me anything else to do with crypto. I didn't have an account with an exchange. I didn't know how to create an account with an exchange. So I'm earning all this Steam and like no idea what to do with it. So I'm just saving it. And then when the cards came out, and it's like, oh, here's something I can do with my Steam. So I was literally buying them just because I could. And when the game first came out, it wasn't even a game. It was just cards. It had no stats. There was no battles. It was just literally collectible cards. And NFT wasn't even a thing at the time. So for me, it was purely the fact that I could do something with the Steam. And then, obviously I started looking into it, got further involved, started talking with Matt on Discord for Team Australia at the time. And started taking steps into the game itself.
Nice. So like with the cards, like you said, they didn't have any purpose, so it was just collectibles. And like, would they say how many of those particular cards there were?
Matt?
Yeah,
sorry, Matt question.
Yeah, back in the early days, you could track, you could see how many there were in total. It wasn't displayed anywhere easy to see, but it was always still visible. People were making tools even early back in the day. But yeah, at first they were just pictures with no stats. And then they got the stats, and then the battling came out, and then a lot of stuff that we take for granted now, it just wasn't that way originally. It was very, very simple gameplay. I keep seeing Facebook memories flash up of me with 2018, or here's hey, look at this battle, and I look at it now and I think, oh, it just looks so simplistic, I guess, compared to what we do now. But yeah, for me, getting into the game was I moved Bitcoin into Steam because I like to. I sort of see myself as a bit more of a VC type guy. I'll get in early before anybody knows about it. By the time the world's talking about it, then it's time to get out and do something else, diversify. So when I went like 100x on Bitcoin, so it didn't owe me anything, and I figured, well, it's great technology, but let's move into a different, I guess, avenue for that same technology. So, yeah, moving to Steam was. There's been times when that was a good idea, times when it was bad, but I guess in there trying to work out which way is up, I discovered Agrode, and he at the time had MSP Waves, the MSP Discord, and he's just hit the ground running and built this community of like 20,000 people that were minnows. It was the minnow support project. So he's got these 20,000 people, and I thought, this is a guy who knows how to build a community. He's just come from nowhere and gathered up all of these people that are otherwise stumbling around with no idea what to do, similar to Bob with his, well, do I have an exchange, or what do I do from here? And he's managed to gather all these people together. And then I'm walking along one day, and I remember clearly walking the dog one day and listening to MSP Waves on my headphones. And I remember him saying, "Oh, I've got an idea for a game I'd like to build on the Steam blockchain. Call it Steam Monsters. I got some art from another project that never went anywhere, and I'm like, just sort of looking for somebody to code it." And then a couple of months later, there was the announcement that he and Yabba had got together and we're going to do this game. And I thought, well, I didn't know much about Yabba, but I knew about Agrode's capability to pull a community together and his existing community of 20,000 members. And I thought, well, if anyone can do it well, it's going to be him. The technical side of things, I trust that he's found somebody who's capable of doing it. And I sort of dipped my toe in and started buying. At the time, there were a lot of people that were just stripping packs. So they'd buy a heap of packs, and then they'd look for legendaries, and they'd sell them as high as they could, and then they'd just dump the commons and the rares, and sell the epics and the legendaries. And this is before gold cards were even a thing, so they were just cards. And I had a realization at some point that the Magic the Gathering and the common cards that you don't generally use, they just gather dust, right? There's people with boxes and boxes of them. But because we're talking about NFTs, there's no storage issue. So those common cards, they're going to be undervalued by the people with experience in this realm. I don't have experience in this realm. I know these common cards aren't going to take up much room. But rather than just buying a whole lot of each of them, I'll just focus on one. So that's when I started stacking the flash golems, and they didn't have stats or anything like that. And when the stats came out, that just sort of, I thought, well, this is really good. He can heal himself, so I'm going to keep buying more and more and more of these, and it just sort of started becoming a bit of a legacy. So I figured if I want something that's price is going to go up, if I'm the one in charge of the price, then I get to decide when the price goes up. I've always been fascinated by those robber barons, the turn of the century, the guy who cornered the copper market or tried to and lost his shirt, as is the case most times. So I thought this would be a fun experiment, a fun sort of side project. I know I'm not great at these games, and I know it's not my strength. And there are guys that are just absolute machines, but it's not my strength. So from there, I kept stacking and kept playing, but I wasn't a big mover and shaker in the game until the Steam Hive split. And the way the devs navigated, but they basically handled Justin Sun like absolute pros. The way they didn't take sides, but then did take sides, but then didn't take sides. It'd be hard to go into. I'd have to talk for an hour to go into it. But essentially, the way they handled the social politics of that split at the time, with so many pieces in the air, and it was elegant. It was just absolutely elegant. And so at the tail end of that, I've got all these Hive tokens now from after the fork that I want to keep, and I've got all these Steam tokens that I absolutely don't want. So what am I going to do? I just dump them all into flesh golems. And then, of course, I've got this massive pile of flesh golems now, and it's becoming this thing that, hey, everyone, look at Matt. He's famous now for having this big collection of flesh golems. And I thought, well, if this game gets huge, I've now got my name attached. It's almost like naming rights, right? You get people opening packs. Somebody opens an alpha pack, they're a flesh golem. Oh, I have to tell Matt Clark. I'm like, this is a very cheap way to get my name attached to this game forever. I know there's guys out there like Exile, who's in my guild. He paid $2,000, I think, for naming rights to the first boss monster. Is going to be him. But years down the track, he's still waiting for that, and it's an ongoing joke in the community. But and he's cool. He gets it, right? But I'm thinking I can do this, and I get the cards as well, right? And in the attention economy, I think that's going to pay dividends down the road. So that for me was when I decided I was really going to go all in. Was after that fork, the way the Splinterlands devs handled that whole issue was absolutely exquisite. And I thought there are mines here. I don't know which brain was responsible for which decision, but there are minds here that I want to join whatever they're doing. I want to join. I'm in. Just count me in. And from there, we've just gone leaps and bounds. So when I had enough on hand to buy a region when the land sale came out, and then I decided to I powered down quite a lot of hive. I'm sitting on about half the hive I used to have, so I powered down a whole lot of hive to buy a second region, and obviously that was a good decision considering that what we've made in SPS airdrops and the value of land since then. So, yeah, that's I guess where I came from. But I still remember walking the dog and hearing Agrod saying that. That's interesting. That would be interesting, sort of a concept. So in many ways, I've been around longer than Yabba has, because I'm assuming he was recruited after that conversation. But I think that's a fairly it's a weak claim, but I'll make it.
So where do you guys play at? Do you guys play, or are you just hodling? How do you fit into the game itself? And what league? How did you get your cards? Did you buy packs? Did you target cards on the market? How'd you guys grow?
So I'll go ahead and field that one first. Wascal, definitely a player. I initially, like I said, I watched a couple of videos and I was kind of scattershotting my way into, this guy says I need to buy Tuss the Wide. Oh, this guy says I need to buy what is that? The Sea Monster. This guy says I need to buy, I was all over the place where, in hindsight, I definitely should have kind of honed my focus onto a single splinter. And that's my advice to anybody who's coming in at this point is pick one splinter and go hard in the paint with that color, and then, sort of, grow from beyond that. But so at the time that I came in, it was maybe a month before the Carnage Titan airdrop. And I really wanted to, my goal was to get enough packs to qualify for that initial airdrop. So, and I, having watched videos and talked to Wascal about it, the idea was that I was going to hold those packs for the long term and resell them, once Chaos Legion had kind of bit the dust and we moved on to Rebellion. Well, that sentiment did not last very long. I ended up opening up all those packs. The shout out to Nate and the creative team for making such an addictive experience when it comes to opening up packs. And so that got me pretty close to maxing out for gold. And this summer I had a little bit of cash lying around and decided it was, I didn't see prices on Chaos Legion going down much further than where they were. And fortunately I was, in hindsight, it looks like I picked the right time to buy in, because it looks like the only way card prices for Chaos Legion is moving now is up. So yes, I did buy particular cards. I had a handful of Untamed that I've since sold. I felt like, you get a lot better bang for your buck with Chaos Legion and now Rift Watchers, and moving forward, staying in the modern era, I think is probably going to be the game plan for me. But initially packs, and then kind of key cards, getting them leveled up, and then I went pretty big and leveled up the rest of Chaos Legion, and I managed to square away a handful of packs for Rift Watchers, and since then I've those Rift Watchers cards were too much fun to play with, and I had to bite the bullet and get those guys to diamond competition level as well. So yeah, playing diamond, playing modern, and
me, I was at the gold for quite a while when I managed to kind of buy my packs. I bought like 500 Chaos Legion packs, but I didn't open them for a long time. That was my plan was, I heard, I think this is the thing I've realized this past year or so, just one of the things you can't predict in Splinterlands is that you just can't predict anything. So like, I bought these packs, people were saying, oh yeah, there's a good chance that you're going to make big profit of these when these sell out. So I was just like holding these 500 packs, holding them. And then just recently I opened them all up, and now I'm kind of close to leveling up my diamonds deck. To be honest, I don't play ranked that much. I play a little bit. I got my Archmage playing on like 2 accounts, and I'm just focusing on tournaments and brawls. And I've got like that magic figure of like 17,500 SPS to kind of help me get into these other higher end tournaments. So that's my little short-term game.
All right.
I'd be interested to ask you guys who are playing modern. You've got until the end of Rebellion, obviously, to use those Chaos Legion cards. Have you thought about what you're planning to do, or it's completely valid to be fluid with this and not be sure yet, but are you anticipating buying into the pack, buying into the edition after Rebellion and selling your Chaos Legion cards to finance that and stay in modern, or would you find it too hard to part with your Chaos Legion cards and maybe slip into wild then? What are your thoughts on that at the moment?
Well, I think we definitely got different plans, I think. But for me personally, I've been thinking a lot about that this week, because now if these packs do get burned, for me, and selfishly, I was just quite happy to kind of slowly level up my deck to make it like ready, competitive in champion or diamond. But if this pack burning is to happen, it's going to be quite difficult. And as you mentioned, Rebellion, I think me personally at the moment, I'm not in that situation to maybe invest what I would need to invest to buy, the next round of Rebellion. So I probably would try and stick with Chaos Legion and buy the certain cards. But yeah, to be honest, even with Rift Watchers, I kind of feel not having some of those cards is I'm a little bit of a disadvantage. But I'm just trying to work out, is it worth it to keep putting this much money just into the game, and I'm just working out whether or not it's worth just to rent them or just buy certain ones. Yeah,
I think my game plan, my thinking, and it could be completely off. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Boba and Matt Clark. I think the initial investment is going to be into the 2 current sets that are playing in modern, and then of course the mini sets that are complementary to that. So you invest for a max level deck of Chaos Legion, Rift Watchers, and then Rebellion and whatever that mini set is. And then as soon as whatever comes on the heels of Rebellion is getting phased in, Chaos Legion is on its way to wild along with Rift Watchers. The ideal plan in my mind is selling those to fund the purchase of the subsequent set and just remain modern. As far as you very quickly touched on the sentimental value, and I think there's a couple of cards, namely Blight, Deep Lurker, and I think Yasik is up there. Jace K for those of you who follow Jim and butcher that name. But yeah, there's a handful of cards that I think, Almo is one that I've got now. That's one of the few from the Untamed area that I don't know if I'll ever part with. He's just a total badass. So I think there's a number of cards I would probably hang on to, but for the most part, I just want to, kind of have that investment pay for itself and stack as much SPS as I can for the foreseeable 5 years. And hopefully my investment in Chaos Legion and Rift Watchers will be able to fund future investments in it by itself. That's kind of my game plan. What are your thoughts there, guys?
There's a lot of game theory there when it comes to all this, because if you are planning to sell your Chaos Legion when the edition after Rebellion rolls out, then are you also going to be selling into a market that's populated by others doing exactly the same thing? Or will there be people looking to buy those cards now because they want to compete in Wild, because there are more competitors in Wild, in Modern than there are in Wild? So I guess it depends on what happens with our player base, because if the rewards continue to be split relatively evenly between Wild and Modern, then you can assume that people are going to gravitate to whichever end of the spectrum is the least well populated. So there's all these different levels of, I guess, theoretical game theory that we're trying to work out. But yeah, I think stacking SPS is the go. I don't have any Rift Watchers at all, and I think what I've been doing is focusing very much on. I kept telling myself I'm just going to look for what are good Rift Watchers cards and just buy them instead of buying the packs. Just buy them off the market. But I've yet to actually purchase a single Rift Watcher card, and I think it's because I'm putting all of my dry powder into the ecosystem generally, rather than a specific pack or edition of cards. Because what I'm finding is I have so many cards from so many different editions now, and I'm committed to playing in Wild. So I'm scrolling past so many different options, and I'm drowning in options. The idea of adding more options with Rift Watchers is kind of it's almost, I feel like I'd be drowning myself even further rather than doing myself a favor. So things like Rooney, things like buying tower defense packs and things like that, and also just prioritizing SPS, I think are a way to maximize my exposure to the entire ecosystem without necessarily going hard as a player, because I kind of want to remove myself from the game as a player, especially when land comes out, and then I'll be looking to mostly just manage my land holdings and not really, I'm toing and froing on retiring from ranked battles or sticking it out. It depends what happens with guilds and the like. I'd like to continue to stay in a guild and contributing to a guild and phrase and the like, but unless the advantages are there for a landholder to be a member of a guild, I'm kind of thinking maybe all my cards should just be assigned to land permanently, and I'll just let the battling go. I mean, it's been 4 years, and I know how many battles it's been. Let me just check. I've been, here we go, 33,000 battles, and they're all manual. None of those have been automated, and I've watched them all as well. So you'd think I would be good by now, but no, it's still not there. That's why Modern scares me, because I half the time I'm still playing alpha cards because they're the ones I think of when I see the rules set. Yeah, he'd be good. Yeah, Giant Rock would be good in this for this battle. So they're the first ones I go to. So I think I'd be crippled in Modern. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at with it all. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a relief to not jump on Rift Watchers, I guess, and to diversify out a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, so we've all got different strategies, and that's the thing. That's the joy of this place. Is there are some guys that don't want to play at all, and they just look for good cards to rent. They just buy them to rent them out to other people, and they just play it as an economics game. There's others that are trying to corner the market on something. Others that have got. I've spoken to somebody who has like 5 guilds, and he just wants to be a slumlord with guild seats, right? And just rent out guild seats to other players, and that's what he wants to. That's how he wants to play the game. Others who want to just stream on Twitch and get big there, or YouTube or whatever else. So the more and I've used this analogy before, the more we grow, the more we become a bit like NASCAR, where you go, well, yeah, it's not all about the drivers. There are a lot of people making a great living at NASCAR. There's the guy yelling into a microphone. There's the guy selling hot dogs outside. There's the guy parking cars. There's so many different ways that you can, as the ecosystem grows, that you can burrow in like a tick and make yourself invaluable there. So I love that about this, that you can take on so many different possible roles and invent new ones. It's great.
Yeah, I think like with like what you're saying about like Ben, that you're saying about selling your Chaos Legion cards when the new set after Rebellion comes out, but I think it's just, for me, that's just quite hard to predict as well, because there would have to be a reason why people would spend over the odds for Chaos Legion when they could, in theory, get just as good a collection with the collection after Rebellion, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, it's something to consider. I mean, what does the meta look like, right? And maybe there's something that comes in with one of the new cards, summoners or abilities, that all of a sudden skyrockets the value for particular Chaos Legion stuff. At which point, obviously, it would only be available in Wild. So I think there, just looking back at like Untamed and previous editions, you don't want the entire set, right? Like there's key cards that play key components to the meta. And I expect the same to be true. And like Shield Bearer is a great example. As soon as Wraith came out, all of a sudden that guy became, if you're trying to compete with Grandmaster Wraith, shield bearer was a must, and his value, I think he peaked at $12-13 per BCX. So if you were sitting on a bunch of shield bearers overnight, your value just doubled.
Yeah. How do you guys find like playing if you're so Boba, are you playing in wild as well?
Yeah, I'm in wild. I don't really have a strong enough. In fact, I don't even have the summoners, because every now and then I'll pick a modern tournament, and it'll come up. I don't have life, for example. So general it's like life only, and my general Sloan is a starter card. I mean, that screws me for that whole game. Because of how I started, and with the alphas and betas, and then as Steam started like as we went into the early phase of the bear market, price started going down. Just I had the wrong mindset at the time. Like I said, this is all brand new to me. I've never beat cryptocurrencies, gaming, cards, NFT, all brand new. And my mind, I was just looking at, wow, it's now costing me almost twice as much Steam to buy a pack. What a ripoff. Because I was still measuring in fiat rather than in the actual currency. So I just stopped buying them, and I just became a hodler, basically. I just didn't do anything more with the game. I bought a few untamed packs, and then I missed out on orbs entirely. And I never made any more purchases into the game until Chaos Legion. So really A's and B's, a few untamed, and then I never put any more money back into the game. In fact, Chaos Legion was the first time I've ever spent dry powder on the game, ever.
Oh, wow.
But I recognized the value of what I had in my deck and the mistakes that I've made. So I've been focusing a lot on where I can on getting, because I play at gold. I usually finish each season in gold 1. I have the CP for diamond, but I don't have the deck for diamonds. There's no point playing in diamond. So I've been bit by bit focusing on getting my alphas and betas up. So like recently I've got Alric up to level 7, Liana up to level 6. So I've been focusing on the potential value down the track of what I've already got. And Chaos Legion has taken like I'm working on that with each time I put something in to do with the A's and B's, because there's a significant price difference, what's left over, like the small change left over after my A and B purchases, I'm then leveling up cards that I have in Chaos Legion.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, like, how, like, when you're playing wild, do you come across many just Chaos Legion decks? And I was just wondering, that's like a good barometer of how good this Champions League Chaos Legion is.
It's a pity Gio's not with us here at the moment, because like he came into the game on Chaos Legion. He's since made some significant purchases in Rift Watches, but he just went right out onto Chaos Legion, and he plays in wild, and he does really well. But I still like whether it's a tournament, whether it's brawls, whether it's the leagues, I'm still looking at cards going, is this cunt mouse over? Oh wow, I've never still seeing cards that I don't know. And think, okay, I need to get a couple of him. And then I'll look it up and go, oh, he's Chaos Legion, he's cheap, sweet. And I'll get that to level 6. But yeah, I suffered from like that initial same scattershot sort of approach, and it's only in the last 12 months, maybe six to 12 months, we've really started focusing on individual cards that I've got and getting them to, so playing a gold, if it's a common, level 8, if it's a rare, level 6, epics, level 5, getting them to the best I can use them, because I've always been limited by my summoners. So I haven't focused on the cards, but now I've got the maximum summoners for gold. I've got cards that, does like Spineback Wolf recently. I had him, but he didn't have thorns. What a waste. So leveled him up to get him on thorns. So I'm now bringing my deck up to par with my summoners at the gold 1 level.
Great.
Has there been any thought for, and Matt, I understand why you continue to hold, who knows how many cards you're going to need for all that land. You've pretty much got the full weight of Australia to cover with all that land, and you need a population, I'd say, a fair bit bigger than the Aussie population to sort all that land out. But you, Boba Fett, what is the thought process with continuing to play in Wild versus selling out of Wild? And I would assume you'd get a pretty fair return and be able to play at a very competitive higher level with Modern.
I've only ever considered that with 2 cards. And when I was trying to level up my Alrek, I had a level 4 Alrek, but 11 BCX, so a high level 4. And all I needed to do was get him to level 6. But just one day on the market, I had a look and there was like a level 7 that someone had just put up that was, I can't remember the per BCX, but it was like $400 for a level 7. So I grabbed that. And then I put my 11 BCX level 4 onto the market. But I got no bites. But, again, I've also got that minimum level I'm prepared to sell at. And the other card was my Shinlo. I scored a Shinlo in that promotion that they had. Was it like a startup or something to get the Shinlo? And again, so I figured if I sold my Shinlo even for like 2,500, that would enable me to get my deck to exactly where I want it to be. But as soon as I start doing that with multiple cards, or I would look at what haven't I used in a long time. But as we've learned lately, the meta can change so quickly with a new card. So just because I've never used it up to now doesn't mean he's going to be invaluable tomorrow. So a little bit of FOMO on selling cards, I must admit. The only thing I can justify is selling my Alric because I've already got a level 7 now, and Shinlo because of the potential value that I could use in the game. But I had him up for 2,500, and then someone jumped on with the Shinlo for 1,600. And I thought, no, there's no point. So I've actually got nothing. I've pulled him off the market. But yeah, I just, too much FOMO for me for selling cards. Way too much FOMO.
Just down to 1,000 now, Bob.
Really?
He's down to 1,000 now, Shinlo.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy one then.
Get your rental guy. Yeah, I was looking at that. I have one, and I was thinking, how much to max a Shinlo? Because I'd love to pair him with Goblin Sorcerer and do a double Magic Snake. As to your question, Bjangles, there's no way I could do that from a sentimental level, selling out Alpha. I've got paper gains with flesh columns. I own a third of the world's supply of Alpha flesh columns. So if I was to sell, the price would just absolutely bottom out. There's no, there's no way around that. There's no, So the corollary of that is that I could put $1,000 into flesh columns at the moment, and then suddenly I have $2 or $3 million worth. So it's, it's a funny little mind game, I guess, to look at things like that and realize how I guess the more you hold, the more wealth seems to become sort of an ethereal concept. That's not really that, people, Elon Musk and he's worth $50 billion or $500 billion or something. But then, he'd have to sell a whole lot of Tesla stock to actually make that liquid. And then, of course, he would need to, that would affect the price of Tesla stock, and a whole lot of people would get more poor, or at least on paper. And so, it's really good to live that and kind of understand the way these are just such airy concepts. At some point, there's wealth, but then there's wealth. So yeah, I couldn't sell. I couldn't bring myself to, and then I couldn't make anywhere near what they say on paper. But not by dumping quickly anyway. But that's not my goal. I really want to get the best that I can out of land. With so many plots, I imagine I'll be getting quite a few legendary plots. And I've also, because I've been around long enough, I got totems in the raffle, in the land raffle. And I got titles. So I'm in a position to really well utilize that land. And I'd hate to then say, oh, I've sold all the alpha cards that might have an extra benefit, that extra 10% benefit or 15% benefit on land, and then say, I've sold all of those and now I've just bought a really good playing deck. I'd much rather sit on them, and I'm making a decent amount passively off rentals, because there's a lot of cards that I don't play with that are duplicates that are just up for rent, and those are earning me that passive income constantly, as well as there's a few other different passive sort of income streams that are coming in, and it's enough to, things like we've got some node licenses, and I've got some positions in different liquidity pools. So I'm sort of trying to keep the game fun and looking at, okay, what's my spending money for the next couple of days? Okay, let's drop it on. I just maxed out a gold foil Queen Marcellia, because every time a team would beat me, it seemed like she was there just sort of taunting me from the other side. So I've got her now. I've got to use her. I've got to work out how to use her. But I'm enjoying that adding slowly to the deck instead of a big change, because I'm an old dinosaur and I only learn very, very slowly. So yeah, I could never see myself. I've rejected the idea of playing modern at all from the outset, and I don't see myself changing at all. One thing I do like is I've got the only way I'm really got a full fit out is alpha. I've got a full maxed alpha across the board, all of the alpha cards, which means that anytime there's an alpha tournament, I can just go, yep, I'm just going to join that. And hopefully that continues when land rolls out. I might make that the only way that I continue to battle is I leave the ranked stuff behind, but still jump in the alpha tournaments. And I imagine they'll continue on simply because the team want to pay homage to the original hodlers, and I think that's how they'll do it. So yeah, big fan of the alpha, having that, and then everything else is just kind of whatever I happen to have. But I like that as well about the game, that we've all got our own individual decks. It's not everybody has this. I can appreciate what Weirdbeard's trying to do with the KYC tournaments, where everybody has a maxed out copy of all of the same cards, and that's great for skill and the like. But I think there's a personalization that comes with having your own account with its own cards, and some niche ones that not many people have, and not many other people have, and some gaps as well. My shield bearer is one BCX, and I never use him, and I completely fell asleep on that one. Just didn't even recognize it. I started getting beaten by it and thought, oh, that's a bit of a pain. Didn't even occur to me to go and buy one, and now they're pretty much out of my league, I think, for price, at least in without compromising in other areas. So I think at some point we've all got to decide: are we here as an investor, or are we here as a player? And I'm personally choosing to take the investment side very, very seriously, and the player side, I want it to continue to be fun. And that's where I'll get one shiny new card and go, yeah, this is great, and let's try and include it in my lineups wherever possible. But I want the gaming side of it to still be fun.
Yes, it's very interesting. You say you want to take just like a back seat with playing now because you want to focus on land. But I think that seems like a choice that a few people are going to have to make as well, right?
Again, I'm not a trading card gamer. I never have been. The reason I got into Splinterlands is because it's such a great fit for the technology. Trading cards.
It sounds like you're still trying to desperately avoid the nerd title.
yeah, I hang out with nerds and I talk to them constantly, and I think we're past that. I think, but
nerd.
I don't know. If I'm the guy quarrying stone to supply the nerds with their magic items and spells, then I don't think I can really make that distinction.
We'll call you guilty by association, man.
I was also going to ask you, like, do you really trust a monster like Flesh Golem to be plowing your fields as well?
They seem to me like they just take orders and just grunt and go and do it. Like that was part of it. And there's some euphemistic, I think, possibilities with the idea of having flesh golems, and there's some crass wordplay I think that's available there that might have been instrumental in my decision to stack that particular. There's some deep-seated, vulnerabilities there, or I don't want to explore that publicly. That's for time on the couch. But I'm very keen to hang up the battling boots. occasionally jump in on alpha tournaments, and otherwise just switch entirely to land management. I'm really warming up to the idea of streaming land management on Twitch. I'm thinking if I can set aside a 2-hour window every couple of days, say twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday or something, Tuesday and Friday maybe, and say, right, I'm going to stream on Twitch, get myself on the official Splinterlands TV, and just do land management, because I think when it's new and fresh, there are going to be a lot of people who want to get a plot or 2 or 3 plots and just know what it's all about and how it works. And if there's somebody with a whole lot of land and all sorts of different circumstances doing things, just I mean, there's plenty of Twitch streamers battling, but to have somebody sitting there and just managing their land, I think a lot of people would tune into that and get a sense of, okay, I'm learning about the game now from seeing somebody who's been around for a long time actually doing it. So it's really grown on me, the idea of streaming it on Twitch. I've never been one to be famous. I've never been one to say I really want to be a famous person, but I really feel that I could benefit the game that way. And it's really funny with the Twitch thing. The guys streaming on Twitch, it's just been in the town halls of just sort of, oh yeah, that's good. I'm glad that's happening over there. But I had this moment, it was a few weeks ago now, I had this moment where I'm reading more bot FUD in Mav's chat in Discord, and I thought, why am I still, it's been 4 years that I've been reading this same stuff, and I get new people arrive and I get that they have those same concerns, but I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to voice them. I'm just saying I've read those same arguments for the last 4 years, and I'm kind of done with it, right? I'm just sick of it. So I'm thinking, how can I turn this, instead of, they say, instead of trying to tear something down, build her a better replacement. I think, how can I, instead of worrying about bots, how can I celebrate the human beings that are actually playing this game? I'll just go to the Twitch stream. I'll watch some actual human beings. They've got their face out there, handsome ones in this case. Obviously, there's all sorts that play, but the people that are putting their faces out there and actually playing as a human being, how can we celebrate them? And I saw my stack of orbs. I had 100 orbs, and I thought, I'll just give this streamer an orb. He's new. He's probably never even seen one. And the guy's like, wow, this is great. What's an orb? Okay. And then there's the opening animation that his viewers haven't seen, right? And then there's all these new cards that his viewers haven't seen. And then he's like, okay, what's all that? And so it's content for the streamer to then to engage with his audience and to have new content, something else to talk about. And so I just kind of got addicted to that and just started giving away these orbs. It probably cost me to buy these orbs back a couple of years ago. It probably cost me $150 worth of dark energy crystals, right, to buy these orbs, because they were priced in deck, and the deck was cheap. So I've just bought a stack of 100, and I remember thinking, I'll buy these 100, and then down the track, 3, 4, 5 years from now, the meat space, the meat space no coiners in my life that, the nieces and nephews, and when the game's big, I can just give them an orb, and it's happy birthday, Jimmy, here's an orb, and it'll be, oh yeah, this is great, this is $50, $100 worth of Splinterlands cards. And then I'm looking at these streamers, and I thought, these guys are here now, they're fronting up right now while the game's still young, while it's early, and they're actually engaging, they're actually playing it, they're building the audience, they're building the game. I have been pleading with little Jimmy on Facebook at barbecues for years now. Hey, get into this game. It's great. And these no coiners, it is like dragging the horse to water and shoving its nose in the trough. I don't want to look after them anymore. I've already looked after them. I've looked after them for years, saying, here's this great thing. And I've kind of at the point now where I'm thinking, why am I keeping these orbs for them? Because I went to school with your dad 25 years ago. Like you got to refresh your thinking sometimes. I think, no, this is right here, right now. Here's some guy who's I haven't met him, but he's doing wonderful things for this community. He's a human being who's not a bot, who's playing right now, and I can make his day, engage his audience, inspire others to maybe start streaming as well. Why am I not doing this? So I just ended up giving away, and I've given away all 100 orbs, and I am really, really happy about it. I don't regret it. I don't miss them. I feel like it was a moment for me where I decided that I'm not going to keep dragging this horse to water, because that's what they were set aside for, was these no coiners. I'm not going to keep doing that. I'm not going to carry that burden with me. I've done the absolute best I can. I'm going to leave that behind now, and I'm just going to celebrate the human beings who are actually here, who are actually seeing the value in this thing as we have, and are engaging with it. So
Well,
Yeah.
when Matt Clark makes national Aussie news as the newest billionaire with his army of flesh columns and 2 regions, little Jimmy's going to be calling saying, "Where's my orb, Uncle Matty?"
Yeah. Give us a little help. I helped you. I already helped you. For 10 years, I helped you.
Yeah.
I've been telling these people about
But
Big
people are
Boy
going to be
and-
so fascinated to watch that though, Matt, because just to see you each week just build up your little empire, it's just going to be, for some people, they're just going to just be lapping it up.
And it's not nerdy at
Yeah.
all.
Nice little asterisk there, Boba. Appreciate that. Well, I think it speaks volumes for you as an OG, Matt, to hop on these streams with the brand new players and set the precedent, set the tone of, the community supports each other. And, if you succeed, I succeed, and we succeed together. And the people see that. And that's, like I said, 45 minutes ago, an hour ago, that's what attracted me to the game. It felt like the community was all about, we play a game. There's no bad blood if you beat me. Yeah, I'm going to be pissed that I might say, "Oh, you cheeky bastard! How did you pull that win off on me?" But at the end of the day, it's all about all of us succeeding together in this space. And I think that's exactly why I reached out to you, Matt. I was on stream with you and I saw you give that orb, and I think I hopped into Discord right after that and pinged you. But yeah, it's just so cool to see, and it. Like I said, it just sets the precedent, it sets the tone that, we are here to support each other. And, I think the phrase is all boats rise in the high tide, and, get aboard that ship, man. Let's go.
Yeah. And on the subject of battling, should we do one of the traditions of the show just before we wrap up? We just did a bit of live battling with team analysis and breakdown. We've given our predictions and so forth.
I love it.
Yeah. Now Matt's on a mobile phone, so he can't share screen. So if one of you guys want to send a challenge to Matt and then share your screen. But just the trick is don't share your screen until both teams submitted.
Sure.
Otherwise, he'll be looking at you picking your team. Yeah.
Yeah. Wascal, you want to take the challenge there?
Yeah. Challenge accepted. So, and
we get to look at the intense looks on your faces as well. It's the other side. When you're battling this avatar or icon and it's like you forget sometimes there's actually a person there, unless it's a bot, but there's someone, and you actually get to see their face while they're picking their teams, and like the timer's ticking down, and I've only got 12 mana. Oh, what am I going to do? 12 mana and half my deck.
Hey, what is your in-game name, Matt? Is it just Matt Clark?
Just Matt Clark, yeah.
And an E on the end.
Yeah, I keep it simple across the board. You want to find me on Twitter? Matt Clark.
Is it double T, right?
Everything. Yeah, double T. Clark with an E.
What do you is it silly like what is it diamond you want or gold or?
I'm easy. I spend more time than I'd like to admit in gold, trying to claw my way back into diamond because I wasn't able to get into champion in the previous season. So I'm happy or comfortable with gold or diamond.
Gold or diamond. All right, well let's kick off with the gold. I'm saying that because my deck is not leveled up. You want a bit of gladiator cards?
Oh, do we have that option in challenges? Yeah, by all means.
Yeah.
That's a new development there.
Yeah, okay.
You can do this in a challenge now.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks
Challenge
ago they plugged in the option to include gladiator cards.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, so when you're creating the challenge, Boba, you've got the in-game name that you're sending to, and then the level, so diamond, gold, leagues, and then on the far right drop down, you can choose I think alpha only, gold only, and then gladiator cards. So it's an option now. Yeah, it's a recent plugin.
Wow, we missed that on the last episode, then, Matt.
Well, you heard it here first.
Did you get the challenge through, Matt?
I did. Yeah, I'm just. It's 13 mana, no armor, and 9 times out of 10, I would go Llama Golem here because, well, why not? It's incredible. So yeah, 13 mana unarmored, but I do like the idea of getting a gladiator in. So yeah, I've submitted a gladiator team. I got a gladiator team that I've not Quora. No, maybe I should have done that Llama Quora, but I don't know if I have enough. Nah, Quora is like 9 mana, I think.
Oh yeah, I guess you probably couldn't swing the
not
mana
Llama
price
anyway.
there.
Maybe Lyanna. Yeah, all right. Let's see what happens here. I I can't resist the option to play a gladiator. That's great. I had no idea that was an option.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
You guys should have the screen share power there, Wascal.
Yeah. Okay. Should I share my screen?
If you guys are both ready to go, yeah.
I'm submitted.
So while that's loading up, I'm curious, are you boys on board with the Chaos Legion burn?
Oh.
I'm still, I was like totally stoked with it originally because I thought, so much happening lately, so much available. But now I'm sort of thinking like, it's going back on what they originally said. So I actually voted yes because, look, there's this tiny little bit of red on the end of the voter. But yeah, I still, even though I voted yes, I'm still not sure about that.
You still got a few days to.
Yeah, I think I've abstained so far from that one. I don't really have strong feelings either way, to be honest. It'd be nice to do what we said we'd do and make 15 million packs when we said we would. But then there's a lot of good reasons why we should burn them as well. So yeah, I'm fairly ambivalent. Either way could be painted as a mistake or as a massive success.
Sure.
After the fact, we just have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't plan to vote on too many proposals really. I trust the team, and essentially, if Yabba says I'd like you guys to vote this way, then that's what I'll do. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. It's rare, even with my SPS stake, it's rare for me to be in a position to affect the vote. To really move that, to really have an effect on it. So I don't know. And I'm an anarchist. I don't like voting.
There's the truth. That's the real answer. Very good.
Wascal, can you just bring it forward to bring the rule set up?
Yeah. Let me just move you guys over.
So it's just a no armor rule set. I think I might be in trouble here.
Just need to. There you go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's gone double sneak. So he's gonna melt my Captain Katie, which is my only real combat card, before she can chip into his. Who's that blue guy at the end there? She's going to be going for Igor Darkspear, and I don't think she's going to be able to kill him before she dies. So yeah, it's good with unarmored. Sneaks are going to be OP, especially multi sneaks. And if that poison lands, it's definitely game over. But yeah, I don't see any way I'm winning this.
Yeah,
all she needs is one bloodlust, I think.
Well, she can't regrow her armor, which is a benefit of bloodlust that we're missing here because there's no armor. I believe as a sniper, she's going to go for their first non-melee card on the back row, which is that Igor Darkspear. And because he has 5 health, had she been turns. Not snipe, she would have maybe taken out Chaos Agent in the very first turn, and then she would have got a bit of health and then built and built and built. But that snowball's going to stay at the top of the hill, I think. She's not really going to have a chance to kill enough people to get any bloodlust going at all.
Yeah, I kind of chicken out of doing the gladiator card. I was just trying to, I just couldn't, the ones I have, I just couldn't justify putting them in. And I thought just to get a scalp, a win against you was too much to resist.
Reason enough. Had I gone the other way around, I might have been in a good position. Put her first and then put them up the back if I'd have thought that you were going multi-sneak. But I'm hopelessly in love with Captain Katie. I talk about her constantly, and maybe to a fault, but I just can't resist an opportunity to use it.
Okay.
I think you're going down, Matt, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going down.
It could be over
Yeah.
round one if Urea sticks the poison. That's the ball
Yeah,
game.
that's right. That's right. And even she'd need to be going first in round 2 to get any bloodlust at all. So, yeah, I'm not even sure if it's much point watching it, but we'll go for it. We can just edit this whole thing
You
out.
gotta let
Really,
me watch it.
Oh yeah. I've learned the hard way. It's a tough call to sell Wascal on mailing in the victory. He likes to milk it.
All right, let's watch this thing. Let's do it.
Well, like
Let's
to
rip
be
the
honest,
Band-Aid
like
off.
we also have this similar thing on our show as well, and yeah, many times I'm just about you can just see me about to just finish him off at the end, and then he just cuts it off. It's like you
Skip to results. No
we've had
satisfaction.
Some nail biters of some unexpected stuff, especially with RNG missing.
Oh yeah.
I've been robbed so many times with RNG misses. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not counting my chickens. Pardon the pun with the Furious chicken over there, but all
I
right.
think you can count your chickens.
Why count one?
Oh, he didn't get the
Poison.
Didn't stick the poison. But
Yeah, it's not gonna matter,
It's
though.
not hitting hard enough to.
That's the ball
Not
game.
hitting hard enough to matter. Terrible.
That was a quick game.
Mm.
That's quick.
We don't need more commentary after the match is finished, surely. Someone sending Bob a challenge? Is that what's happening now? 'Cause I thought that's what I heard him say. It's like someone sending me a challenge.
I'll send you a challenge, Bob. So we'll do gold gladiator cards, Bubba.
All right, okay. So you want to stop sharing screen there, Wascal?
And is it BOBA?
PH.
P-
If you mouse
H.
over my image, you should actually get the correct spelling come up in the bottom left.
Got you.
there.
All right. Challenge is in the mail for you.
Are you
Good
excited
game,
about?
Wascal.
Say again.
Good game.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, do you see light at the end of the tunnel with land, then, Matt? Do you see it's going to be
for sure.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I can just see that there was an original vision, which was quite good. But with the massive influx of players, they've gone back to the drawing board and said, okay, the things that we want to do eventually include inland, maybe those pipe dreams that were not even possible with the coding budget that we had in the time. Let's revisit some of that. And I think what they've done is they've incorporated more of those things that were long-term goals into that first iteration of land. So I think we're waiting longer, but I also think we're going to get a more polished, more complete, more complex product at the tail end of it. And so, yeah, the irony is, of course, people were saying, Matt, how do you have enough cards to justify all the land that you have? Because how are you going to work them all? And now I'm just getting free SPS airdrops every day for just holding the land as if I was working it with cards I don't have, which is pretty funny. So yeah, I've landed on my feet there, but yeah, that's my Splinterlands story time and again. So
yeah, we were speaking to Cryptomancer the other day, and yeah, I just love his ideas for land. I would love for him to kind of get involved with it because it's just going to become a game within itself, right?
Yeah, he's definitely one of the core. He's in my guild. He's a fantastic dude. Got a lot of time for Cryptomancer. Okay, let's have a look at this match.
So we've got let me pull it forward a sec. There we go. So 26 mana, Noxious Fumes, no ranged.
I think I might have shot myself by just wanting to chuck the gladiator. I couldn't resist playing a gladiator card. I probably was not the best choice there. But yeah, I
don't know, man. I like your chances.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be striking first, and if I can get my gladiator rolling with a little bit of bloodlust, it'll take me 2 strikes per each of them, but I should be able to survive at least to round 2 to pick up the first bloodlust.
But see, you're just hitting armor though. Then the Noxious Fumes will kill all those 3 in the middle.
All right.
If there was a scavenger in there, Scavenger in there, he'd be doing all right. I don't see any scavengers. My eyes are a bit old.
No,
But...
again, if I played the cube instead of my gladiator, my death is usually my go-to because I've got a lot of scavenge on death for noxious gas. But the temptation of the fact that first time I could actually play a gladiator in this round, I couldn't resist. I took the bait, and I've been reeled in, I think.
Well, I think Uriel is going to be the game changer. The self-heal and the cleanse. I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Does Bob have cleanse anywhere
my
though?
bard, because speed of 2.
Oh yes.
If my bard, because the bard is opportunity bait, of course.
Yeah.
But you haven't got an opportunity card.
But I've got this one, but he's going to go after your fiend first. But it's gonna be irrelevant with the noxious fumes knocking all of them out in the first round.
Yeah.
You sure he's going to go for the fiend first?
Should do.
Yeah.
Why?
It's first in the row.
Is it really?
Yeah.
When the health is
even.
even.
Know this after all this time.
Yeah. You got 3 1 health cards there, so he's just going to pick them off one from front to back. So
yeah.
But they're all going to die after noxious fumes. Your bard is going to cleanse your Uriel. I'm really firming up on Bob here because I don't see how you're going to take any scalps with your gladiator before the noxious fumes takes him out, Bjangles.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the cleanse demon shark getting enraged and hopefully taking some misses. But I
retaliates. Yeah, Bob doesn't have repair.
That's gold, so I don't even get the retaliate. I think I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I think you are too. And his gladiator can always finish off your demon shark. That's a 1-2 there.
Yeah, retaliate comes at level 7 for
yeah. I think Bob might take this one.
Yeah, the shield from your summoner, Bob, definitely has helped you out. Is that why you put it on? Were you expecting a bit of opportunity?
Well, just with the 2 choices was either water or life. And so my water cleanser, I think, is 4 mana. So life cleanser is only 1 mana. So that's predominantly why I went for life.
Well, yeah, I think it's gonna pay dividends for you. Oh, that doesn't help. Swing and a miss from the get-go.
Yep, there goes the cleanse. So Uriel's cleansed.
Yeah, I should have thrown blight. He would have been
Yep.
Oh, that's scavenger. Yeah, you're right there, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any bloodlust, any easy bloodlust targets gone now. They're all tougher nuts to crack.
If death had been an option, I would have had a scavenger for sure.
Oh, here goes the demon shark. Ooh.
Oh, the miss.
Oh, big miss.
Told you, I get robbed by RNG misses. I get absolutely robbed.
Not going to matter.
Yeah, it's not going to matter.
Not going to make any difference. They're not cracking through Uriel now.
No. Demon shark's going down the next round for sure.
You're right there, Ben.
Speed. I mean, it's
bloodlust.
There she blows.
Yeah, take that.
Yeah.
Well
played over
there,
it's over, and it's over.
Well played. Win rate of 0. Well done.
All right, and on that, we should wrap this episode up. Time just flies. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Now we have people on. They go, "What on earth am I going to talk about for an hour?" It's like you'd be surprised. All right. So thanks for joining us, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. We could do this again.
Love to.
Likewise.
Yeah. All righty. Any final words from anyone? To give your guild a plug, YouTube, your
video? Sure. So as Wascal mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we are about 6 months into our own podcast endeavor, the People's Guild, at Twitter, Spotify, Real. I don't know if either of you guys are familiar with Real. It's a decentralized podcasting platform that's linked up to Hive, which is cool.
Give me those links, and I'll drop those links in the blog section of the post as well.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to getting one or both of you guys, and hopefully next time we get a chance to chat with Gio as well. Bit of a shame he couldn't hop on today, but a lot of fun. Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, likewise.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for joining
been.
us. See you in episode 46. I'm Boba Fett. Peace out.
Thank you. Bye bye.